last. Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No. The honor is mine. Please, come, sit. I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome, dear viewer. I hope you're here because you have taken the red pill, like I showed you in the clip just now. If you're looking for truth, then you are at the right place, because I reveal a very big secret about this shithole of a realm we live in. I and many others attempt to explain to people how there was a plain-white old-world empire here that was wiped out from existence by a cataclysm not that long ago. We're talking possibly around 200 or 300 years or so. An advanced empire that could have existed for thousands of years before they mysteriously disappeared from history, and nobody told you about it. Sadly, most people have crap-scene clogged brains these days, so they don't have the mind capacity to understand anything. But if you are here, there is a reason for it. All you gotta do is sit and listen to me with an open mind as I explain what we are seeing in the pictures I will show you. Please share this out and enjoy. Alright, so let's have a look at some photos I have collected for you. So the reason I'm showing you these photos is because I'm gonna try to make you understand that there was an old world civilization here in the past, like I just explained. And the evidence for it is in excuse me, sorry, is in the architecture and the buildings that we can find all across this realm, basically, like the buildings you can see here. And the mainstream explanation for this photo here is that it was the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893 or something, and all these buildings are supposedly built as temporary buildings out of plaster just for this World's Fair event. If you do some more digging into that story, and if you have some brain capacity left, then you can quickly understand that that's complete fucking bullshit, okay? It's bollocks, all of it. The real explanation is these buildings were already here, okay? After the cataclysm that wiped out most of the old world architecture, some of them survived, and these here are some of it that survived, okay? But they had to make up a lie, so they had a reason to demolish these buildings, and that's the lie of the World's Fair, so they could, you know, get rid of them. Because if we saw too many of these buildings surrounding us our whole lives, many people would start to ask the questions, like, these buildings don't fit in at all, and what is the scale of everything, why so grand and massive, right? So that's why they have manufactured many lies to demolish buildings, and also the biggest one of them all, wars. Alright? So one of the biggest reasons we have been constantly in war for a fucking 100 years is so they can fly over cities, they can fly over cities and drop bombs and stuff at these buildings and get rid of them, because the parasites that control this realm do not like the idea of us waking up and understanding what's going on, so they want to bury, literally, the truth, and that's what they're doing. So what you need to pay attention with these old wall buildings is the columns, okay? There is very many columns on many of these buildings, and I'm gonna explain shortly or later in the video why I think so, because there is really no reason to, with the naked eye, to do it like this. It would just take a lot more effort, and yeah, of course it looks nice, but they always built with a reason in the old world. Everything had a purpose, everything. So you see all the columns all the way around, and even some up here at the dome, which is, by the way, free energy properties. They might have removed the very top of it, Antiquitech. And here you see some spires. That's also a common feature on old wall buildings, the domes and the spires and the antennas at the top of the buildings, because they could harness free energy from the ether. Very advanced civilization, you gotta understand. And here is another one, also in Chicago, and you just gotta pay attention to the buildings here, okay? The key is in the buildings, not these people, because they are clueless. These are the inheritors, okay? They just inherited all of this. So these have been brainwashed as well, so they don't have any clue what any of this is, okay? They're just walking around to some World's Fair event they had. So these people did not build any of this, okay? This is a different humanity here in old world infrastructure. So here you see the spires, you see obelisks as well, similar to the ones in Egypt. Egypt is the same people, by the way, that built all of this. It's all the same people. It was a plain white civilization. But just notice all the fountains and the gloriness of this, okay? And again, all the columns and dome. And here as well in Chicago, just a different angle. And here you see the two spires, which is, to me, after doing the research, clearly for electric purposes. Okay, this looks like some kind of machines. It looks very electric to me, don't you think? And everything else, the details, and how large everything is. Again, you see these large ass columns and the little tiny fucking people down here. See here, little people. And by the way, this is in 1893, and look at the fucking HD photos they could take. And here, I think this one is in St. Louis, World's Fair in 1904 or something. And this one is incredible. It's beautiful. It got all Antiquitech fountains down at the front here, water flowing. You know, very beautiful. And massive. Look at the tiny people. Again, lots of people gathered at the World's Fair, and you see this domed structure over here with columns all around it, and the walkway here, just, it's glorious. And this statue looking thing, whatever it is, looks like they have some kind of speaking here, probably spewing out a bunch of fucking lies to all these innocent people, poor people. That's the New World Order, you know. So here, the Palace of Electricity. I think this is the St. Louis World's Fair. 1904, and everything fully electric, with no cables or anything, okay? There are more photos like this, and it's all fully electric. Glorious, just beautiful. Just look at it. Up here at the dome, you know, lights, all that stuff, you know. I don't remember the number at the top of my head, but the amount of light bulbs and stuff they would need for this event to be produced in such a short amount of time back in 1904 would be impossible, okay? Just, you gotta use your brain here. It doesn't work like that way. They don't have the, they didn't have the mass production like we have today, supposedly at least. And another one, more World's Fair, all these people walking around, no clue what any of this is, sadly, but now we do, 100+ years later. It took a while, but at least we figured it out. Here again, massive domed structure, and the arches, just incredible architecture. And this one, very similar. Sorry, my throat today. I'm sorry. But yeah, look here. You see this one at the World's Fair in 1904, and then you see this in Vatican City in Italy, and you can just see it's the same fucking thing, basically. Just slightly differences in the design, but you see the same dome, all the columns, all the fucking columns around here, right? This is some kind of machine, guys. That's what people need to understand. It's a device, and it also looks like everything in the old world were set up like a circuit board on a computer. Okay, when you look at the city from above, you will see that it looks exactly like a circuit board. And just look at it with all these columns, this obelisk in the middle, these patterns here. It looks very electric, okay, because it's an energy realm. But if you had something like this, And what would happen if it was set up like a circuit board and if it melted, like got overloaded of electricity? That's one of the main things I speak about on my channel. Just see the front here with the columns, openings, and this shape here. That's a rectangle, right? Triangle, is it? I mean, a triangle, sorry. And look at this. Can you see any similarities here? Because what I say is that this is a melted building, okay? Because you know the mainstream explanation is how somebody came along here, primitive caveman, and carved this shit into a so-called mountain, right? I don't think that's what's going on at all. I think this used to be something like this, but it got melted. I'm gonna explain it better to you coming up. Another one, what I say is a melted building. And here, maybe it would look something like this if it melted. Or maybe a city that melted would look something like this. Do you see how straight everything here is? Just like a building. Look here, it's all square, etc. And again, they say somebody carved here. But I think the old world built everything with red bricks because they had electric purposes. They could conduct electricity, etc. So everything was red bricks, and they had this cataclysm which looks like an overload of electricity on their whole free energy grid they had set up, and it got electrified very hot, and it melted before it densified. And this is what we now have, a melted civilization. Just look at everything with an open mind, please. And here is another one, just glorious. Look here at the little tiny people, and look at the fucking scale of these things here. They are massive, and these are built with horses and buggies by primitive people without any power tools or anything. Do you really think so? Do you? Come on, think please. Look here. This is in London. And again, very similar structure. This looks like all of them, basically. And you can compare it. This is what we build today. New World Order buildings in the background. These ugly ass square boxes high up in the air. Disgusting. And this is the old civilization that built these buildings. Which one do you prefer? Which one is the prettiest? Of course, it's this one. Look at the spire here, by the way. All spires, free energy, up in the air. Another one. This one is, I'm gonna show you something cool, but yeah, look at all the columns and the front here, especially the front. The columns, and look here at the details at the columns, you know, the artwork, and also the triangle up here. Bam! Do you see any similarities? All the columns with the details and the triangle. Okay, this is in Petra, Jordan, and look at the sides, etc. Here, looks very melted to me. What do you think? And this little section of the building is what we call a pocket of survival. Do you see? It looks exactly the fucking same. Another one. And here is one. This one has a brick dome. This one is massive, by the way. Look at all the other buildings. Oh, look at this. Old world. And here as well. This was a very well established and advanced civilization, you gotta understand. They were never primitive and dumb fucking cavemen. We are the dumb cavemen, because everything we have been told is a goddamn lie. And we gotta dig up the true history of this realm. Here again, the same front with the columns, the triangle, all the same. Built by the same people. Look, they are identical basically. The domes, all the same. And of course, just gorgeous. Another one. You find this all across the plain, everywhere. You find this domed, so-called, what are they calling them? Capitol buildings. And here, again, similar to the one in Petra, the triangle, the columns with the details, okay? So if this one melted, you'll get some of the, something like this, right? Just look here. Columns, the art at the top, the triangle. Columns, art at the top, the triangle. Even these little bricks here. And back to here. We even have these. It's the same thing, guys. This is a melted building. And here is another very melted building. Again, you see the columns. This is the pocket of survival. Some of it survived, but look at the rest here. It's all covered in what they call it mountains and stuff now. But that's nonsense. It's building melt. The building melted from the top, came down here. You know, can you see it? And another one. A pocket of survival here. Nobody carved this. It's impossible. Look here, flowing down. And here, this one is very good because you can see the building melt coming from the top. So it melted up here. I'll take out this. It melted up and... oh fuck, sorry. Melted at the top and it started to come down, creating this rock curtain. And look here. Much of it, you know, started to slide down. Even it came down to here. It's all melting here before it densified. And again, all the columns. And this is the inside in one of these. And again, all the columns, the detail. Nobody carved it. It's just the inside of the melted building. It's very, very easy. You see all the columns. And here is a circuit board. Looks like a city from above. And you see all of these little things here, these connectors. I think the buildings had the same kind of purpose as these. That's what it looks like, at least. If you compare these buildings with a circuit board, that's what it looks like. And by using my common sense and my research based on the free energy Antiquitech stuff, then it just makes sense to me. I don't know, what do you think? So we're gonna now look a little bit about something called the Lichtenberg effect, and how if everything was set up like a circuit board, like you see here, if this was a city, and if it had some kind of overload of electricity or short circuit, then we're gonna look a little bit into what could happen to the whole city and infrastructure. Alright, I'm gonna show you a little clip. Bear with me. So here is the Lichtenberg effect in action. This is when they put electricity through wood with some water on it, and what you have to pay attention to is the pattern that comes when it gets electrified, because I'm gonna show you something pretty crazy when the clip is done. Okay, so we're on Google spinning space testicle. Hopefully you know that we don't live on a goddamn spinning rock. And we're gonna look for Lichtenberg effects a little bit. I'm just gonna do it a little quickly just so you can see what I'm trying to explain here. So this is Norway. I live all the way down here. And I just see immediately I can see the patterns here. This is the fjords, right? Fjords. And it looks exactly like the Lichtenberg effect. You can see electricity came in through here, spread out branches to the sides and fried everything. You see it everywhere here. Okay, so this is Norway. Denmark. I don't think Denmark has too much of it, we can see. Not a lot. But we move around. See if we can spot some more. Ooh. Here. You can see the same thing. Same kind of patterns here. Looks like Lichtenberg. Lichtenberg effect. Here as well. See here? Looks like electricity coming through and creating branches out. And here again. Looks exactly the same. I'm just saying, y'all. Everywhere here. Looks very electrified. Look at all these lightning bolts going through. So let's see. I don't know where they all are, so we're just gonna explore a little bit. Maybe there is some in Africa. Like here. Same deal. Let's see. Here again, maybe. Very similar to the Lichtenberg. And you can kind of see it even from this distance. You see it here and here. You can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, look here. All the same patterns. Exactly like the Lichtenberg. Look, all around here. And here. Let's see. Here too. Here. And then we're gonna look if we can see the same over here somewhere. South America. This is similar to Norway. Yeah, you see them all over at the coastline. Lichtenberg. Just look here. All the way. And here you see more lightning bolts all over the place. And here, yeah, you can see it, right? Maybe we got some over here as well. Yeah, look here. All this fucking lightning coming through here. Whoa, look at this area. Do you see it? Here, going crazy up in this area. Look at this. Yeah, you get the point, I hope. I just found it really interesting, the Lichtenberg, and comparing it with the images they give us on Google spinning space testicle. Everywhere, look here, it's all the same, guys. You can go and explore for yourself if you want. I'm not gonna spend too much time. So when we look at the city from above, it will look like this, except this is not a city. This is, as you can see, a whole bunch of different circuit boards just placed together side by side here. But you see how it looks like a city, exactly like a city, identical. So if we compare this with the Lichtenberg effect, you know, just picture the whole plane being set up like a circuit board, and then you had an overload of electricity in the whole grid. Maybe that's why we find buildings that looks, for example, like this. Here is one of many examples where you can see a building here which is just inside a mountain, so-called mountain here. Do you think anybody built like that? Or do you think something maybe happened to it? Maybe something melted around here? This is what we call a rock balloon from heat expansion. Just picture everything here being fried, basically. And here as well. Here you can see the very top. It looks like one of these dome structures all the way in here, almost buried completely. And the rest just looks like this. This is what they call mountains. I don't see mountains anymore. I don't think mountains exist, personally. I think they are all melted, fried buildings. Here, this you can compare with all the columns, etc. But if you can't see this is melted, then you gotta go and get your eyes checked or something, because this is just too obvious. Something got hot. Just look down here. Got very hot and it melted. And here, as again, they say it's carvings, which we of course think is bullshit, we think it's a melted building. And you still have these openings in them, windows and doors, etc. And you gotta see the scale of these buildings, because they were massive. The old world were incredible, and they had so many beings and people as well. That's also a thing you gotta understand. Now they say we are 7 billion, around 7 billion. If that's even true, I think we are less, but that's my opinion. But say if we are 7 billion, that's not a whole lot. They claim we are overpopulated, but there is plenty of space everywhere. Nobody can claim so. Look at this. Do you see a carving here, or do you see a melted building? Honestly, okay? If you're new to this, just what does it look like the most? A carving or a melted building? Trust your senses now, please. Trust your eyes. What does it look like? I know. And another one. That's why I'm making these videos, because I know. And it looks very melted. And here as well. Very fried. You can see some of the building still intact, but of course very melted and damaged. And here, this one is incredible. You see the rest of the building up here all melted, but then you have a little pocket of survival here that didn't have time to melt completely, or this rock curtain didn't come down and cover it completely. So you can still see it's a building. And this is from Spartan Red. He posts on Instagram. Go follow him at sparkling_dread. Do you think anybody would build like this? Or do you think it's melted and this section here survived? Pocket of survival here. The rest mangled, cooked. And here is a great example of more ruins. I think this is in Greece. You gotta pay attention to the realm and the world you live in, because we basically live on top of ruins. Everything is destroyed here, my friend. Here you see another building just buried into the melted building behind it. And what's interesting with this one is I gotta do this every time now, fuck. You can still see brick lines here. Like here, bricks. But here they are not horizontal anymore because they got viscous and started to slide and shit. The whole thing you can see. It's not straight. But these used to be all red bricks. Even looks like you can see a cylinder shape in here. More bricks down here. All melted. Another interesting pocket of survival. You can see the buildings just going into the so-called mountain here. It's a pocket of survival. It's all fried, melted. The whole realm here is fried and melted, my friend. Another one. Look here at the tower. Getting buried from behind. And you can still see brick lines cooked into block lines here. I'm not gonna draw, but you can see the lines. Yeah, up here. Oh, more building up here. Didn't melt completely. You see it? Bricks. An opening here. Wow, that's incredible. Incredible, I didn't see it before now. And I have seen the pictures. Yeah, pocket of survival up here and down here. The rest all fried. Another section of pocket of survival. Buildings from the old world, and up here, very melted. And here nothing is... you can't recognize anything here. It's beyond recognition because it got too fucking melted and fried, and they turn into this piles of building melts, and they think it's mountains because they can't see. And another one, pocket of survival here. Can you see how it's fused into the melt on the sides, and it's getting buried from behind and from the top, while this was viscous and flowing slowly over it, starting to cover it, but then it densified before it covered it completely, and now this is the result. And of course people are gonna see this, so they needed to make up lies how this building is here, and they will say somebody built it into the mountain, but it makes no sense. You don't do that. You don't fucking build into like a mountain like that. It's so fucking retarded. It makes my brain hurt. It's insane. And look how cooked the bricks got here. Almost this here almost got cooked into one fucking chunk here. Like here. Here they all got cooked together. Here they are just about to be cooked together into one piece. And this one is incredible. It's down in some mountain ranges in fucking Switzerland, I think. And the whole building is very melted, but you can still see some railings or whatever it is, windows, whatever. Pocket of survival here. Do you think anybody built like this? Come on, guys, please. It's all melted here, and here it survived. Insane evidence. Same place. You can see some railing here and a building that's just into the building melt. You would never build like this. How would you build like this? It's fucking straight down, and why? It's fucking dangerous. Makes no sense. Here you see it from the side. Pocket of survival, and the rest is melted building. And another one covered in this melted building. You don't build like this on the side of a fucking cliff like this. How and why? And here, melted from the bottom. Very mangled here. As you can see, heat expansion. But you know, it goes all the way down here. It's in good condition down here. Melt inside here. Yeah, just look at it, okay? Look here. Got some pocket of survival. Old wall building. And another one, I think it's in Italy, doesn't matter where it is, but you can see the building fused into the melt here. Just open your eyes and you will see it. Alright, that's the video for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe and bell button for more content coming up. Please share it with your friends as well. That would help, because that way we can increase consciousness in this place together for the better of humanity. And if you were new to this topic, go on my channel and look for my documentary. Okay, it's uploaded 5-6 months ago, something like that, and just search for the documentary on my page, and I go into more detail there, and as well watch the other videos, because I think you will appreciate it. Okay, I make these videos for a reason, and it's because of my love for humanity, and I wish we can together create a better place. And by doing so, people need to be properly educated so they can act accordingly. Anyways guys, that's all for me. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.